Yeah, good morning, MarketChameleon.com. I'm Adam. That's Will over there. I am in Amsterdam in a whole bunch of pain. How you doing, brother?
Whoa, what happened to you?
And it's not pain from the market, man. My back. It's in trouble, man. I mean, emergency. I had to get the doc. They do actually house calls here in Amsterdam, believe it or not. Dude came out to the house for me this morning.
What?
Yeah, old school, man. Came out to the house, prescribed me an MRI. Oh, man, you can see I'm writhing in pain, but I'm still doing the show, man, because I never stop, dude. That's the way I roll. Never stop.
I mean, I don't know if people can tell. I know the tech is pretty weak on our part, but if they can see the difference, I mean, you probably go about $1.80. You know, don't drink too much. Never smoke. Got one little one at home. On the other side of the screen is a fatter, older version of you. Probably intakes too much of everything. Maybe 50, 60 pounds heavier. And what's wrong? Why is your
perfect shape?
I mean, you're sending out videos from running to tops of mountains. You know, you're climbing massive trees.
Dude, I figured that it's the top of the mountain that had to do it. That had to be it, man. That had to be it. Was me running the hills, man. But hey, before we begin, everybody.
Whoa, what just happened?
Option trading, just like running hills, can be dangerous. So, you know, be smart out there, everybody. There's the disclaimer. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to show you this. I know it didn't pop up yesterday. This was the shop in downtown Amsterdam. You seeing that, brother?
Oh, love that scam. 2 M's. I've been misspelling scam for years.
Love it. Oh, and hey, got to give a shout out to my boy Justin. Look at the Chameleon Cup, man. What do you think of that? My man Justin sent that in. Yeah, man.
That's a guy who's living the dream right there.
Nebraska, man. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, man. He's using the Chameleon to put it together.
Get it together. Once you start sharing your screen, bring it up. There's the market. I
was having a lot of technical issues this morning, so I don't have a whole lot to share. But one thing that popped up in the feed was this Yandex, which is a Chinese company. You have to look at the about to see what exactly they do. But you know, it's had that was a large amount of call activity, by the way.
Oh, so okay.
So 11,000 contracts traded, 84% of them were calls. So this stock, like many of the Chinese companies, has been in a big bear market sell-off. Someone's obviously placing a bet based on the calls, so a bullish bet. Something to look at. Let's see if it's got any seasonality interest.
Interesting.
Well, if you want to wait all the way to October. 91%, 5 out of 8.
Interesting. I saw an article. I don't know if it popped through your screen as well, about a guy making ridiculous returns in Asia, and he just does it based on knowing that, you know, a third of all the companies are just garbage over there. Lax regulations with the stock market and the way stuff is reported, and just takes, I don't know, bets, shorts, positions, whatever on garbage companies. So you got to do your research on these boys.
Yeah, well, this is a larger company, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, he's talking about companies hiding it. I mean, I'm assuming.
Yeah. He's talking about exchanges in Asia.
Yeah, he's trading the Asian markets. I mean, I don't know how he's borrowing the stock. He may have a relationship there. I mean, as we all know who have accounts here, it is very hard to physically short a stock that you want to sell short, because everyone wants to sell it. So it's like it's a bidding war to see who gets to borrow the stock to sell it. Very hard for small traders. You know, it's also hard to use the options even to get bearish, because the premiums you're going to pay are going to, you know, put you out of business before the stock actually sells off.
Yeah,
but on a bullish side here, we can see that the skew is those puts are really being bid up. It's now, you see, it's had 3, not that this means anything, but it's had 3 periods in which the stock has obviously, people have come in and like, oh my God, we have to buy the puts. Oh my God, we have to buy the puts. Oh my God, we have to buy the puts. It's happened where it's had 3 rips. So let's just take a look at
it looks like it's one a month, pretty much.
It looks like it's been. Let's look at the option chain. This was something I haven't shown before, but it's a nice thing to use. If you look at the payout diagrams here, you see that? Click on that. You can actually input what you want to do, and that's the risk reversals. When you buy that upside call, we look at the 25 delta call to measure it versus the 25 delta put. So a put that when I say delta, that's the % chance that it has to finish in the money. So when you're selling something, you look at that delta and you're saying, I want to collect the premium and I probably don't want to have to buy the stock. So that's the chance of it not finishing in the money is, so when you sell a 25 delta put, it's a 75% chance that it doesn't, based on the probability metrics and the model, of not finishing in the money. So right now, just putting it on yesterday for today, you'd pay 10 cents, but we're going to go out a little bit and say, let's do 1 January out right here. And you'd actually take it in $1.38. It's a $27 stock, and you would be able to collect $1.38 to put on this synthetic long position. So just an interesting way to play it. Obviously your monkey's got your face risk is below 22. You got to be careful. That could go to 0. Just like trying to just if you own the stock, it could go to 0, right? So those are the risks. Another thing I wanted to do this morning, because we have an event next week that they were talking about jobless claims. So this again is a premium feature in the screeners, event-driven insight stock screener, but it does a back test of millions of data observations. I'm actually doing 12 of the stock prices and how they performed around all these events. You know, a week or so ago, we did New Year's to see a couple things that appeared that were of interest. Right, I did the win rate above 70%, average return above 2, median above 2. Now, remember, these are typically small term holds, only a few days to a week type of thing. Right. And then I searched by, then the next thing I would do is search by time frame to see, and we have a lot of stocks to choose from. Coming up, I mean, you can see the number of
took
stocks
it from 1 million to 152. So that's pretty nice. And you can even filter it more, up the return, up your win rate, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you can play with the market cap here. You can change your inputs around to break down the return. But again, there are some things to do. WDAY is 2 days before. 75% win rate, average return, median return, best return, worst return. Can obviously click on the fact sheet, get some information about it. So it's a great resource. I was thinking about Apple, which was a big piece of the sell-off yesterday.
Fantastic. I was just that -10, man. Woo! Apple.
It happens. It happens.
Hey, for all those crybabies, and trust me, there are I work with a bunch of crybabies. Oh, I wish I could have got in Apple at blah, 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 blah. There you go, dude. There's your chance, man. You want in? There you go, man. There it is. Perfect opportunity.
It's only down, 40% from its highs.
Yeah.
And, well, the thing I was looking at is like, that's what I was thinking. If you want to buy Apple, what are the advantages? Well, one is the dividend yield is now above 2%. Its P's touching 10. I mean, this was a growth stock. Now may just be priced as a consumer staple. I'm not sure. But then you look at the buy right. So on top of that 2%, you can look at the buy right, and you sell the at the money call. You can collect 6%, or excuse me, that's Amazon. So in Amazon, you can collect 6%. With Apple, it's 5%. So that's 5, 6, 7, almost 8% you're going to collect by the dividend and selling the at the money call. If you get exercised, you give your stock up and you lose the stock, but you've gained 5%. This is up for a month. So you put that out over a year, it's a big deal. Let's check Apple over the year. You click on, you see that you've used symbol below. Do you see that?
Yep.
Click on that. That gives you a whole year. So you go out a full year, and it's a 12%. Looks better right now selling the weekly to me, but obviously the volatility is really high at the moment, so that's part of the reason. But take a look at that. It's a way to
I mean, it's just so interesting, and just the way I look at it as an idiot, but I'm an idiot, but I just look at it and say, look, man, if you like Apple, what changed in the last week? Okay, there might be there's probably a slowdown. There's
my God, they're not buying the phone in China.
But I still got these stupid earbuds in my ears. I still got my Apple phone. I can't imagine I'm not going to be using Apple products anytime soon. They still have hordes of cash. What is it that you don't exactly like about Apple?
Well, did
something magical happen in the last week that turned this into a garbage company. I don't know. Well, it just seems to me like big reactions, and you can take advantage of these sort of things.
Yeah. The one thing I hate about Apple, and this is why investors should think very strongly and positively about Apple, and it's why I hate Apple, and I've been thinking for years that I should get a Google phone or a Samsung, is they lock you in. You're on their photos.
Absolutely. They locked in. Yep, absolutely.
They lock you in. There's a large cost involved with it. Now that cost may start to shift, because as of now, Google still seems free. Now, obviously, that free's got a caveat, right? That free is you're giving Google all your data. Now, everyone has to be aware of that. Now, if anyone's been listening to Tim Cook the last half a year, Apple's big thing is, other than you're not sharing your data. Now, that's a real risk if it comes out that Apple was doing something with your data. But right now, as an Apple user of product and payer for, the music, the storage, all the bills you pay on top of it, in my feeling is that they're not doing anything nefarious with that data. Everyone else that offers free service.
Yeah. I mean, like you're right though. If that ever came out, and it would be like there would be a huge scandal if that came out, right?
Yeah, no, it would be terrible. The stock,
would be terrible.
In my opinion, it could have a 20 to 50% further downside move if something like that ever happened.
One interesting thing that along that line, Will, just something to think about. Not that this is ever going to happen, but I saw it clicking through social media the other day. Have you ever used DuckDuckGo for your searches, your search engine?
Oh, every time I need a secret search once a month, I use it.
DuckDuckGo. Well, apparently they bought Duck, so they are DuckDuck. You don't have to punch in that whole big URL. So it's Duck.com. And somebody said, hey, why doesn't Apple buy Duck.com? Because Duck.com does basically searches where you're not being tracked. And I thought that was an interesting play that would go along with Apple's the way they're presenting it, which is we don't track your stuff. And I thought that was an interesting idea. Unfortunately, in my experience, Apple's very hesitant to acquire companies that might do something interesting. Apple just doesn't acquire cool companies. I don't know what your feeling is on that.
That's an interesting play. They do have hordes of free cash that can be either given in a dividend, or I think it's like, well, I'll throw it out there. Obviously, this is a McBride number, so take this with a grain of salt. I think it's somewhere between $40 and $60 billion of available cash, which can either be paid out in a dividend or used for these type of acquisitions. No, it's a real good point.
If you think about it, there really is almost there's no friction for a better search engine to come along. It just, obviously we've talked about it before, Bing with Microsoft and the various other Yahoo players who tried and have failed. But I don't know. There's no reason why another company can't make a run at it. All you got to do is do something in better or different in some way. And certainly that idea of privacy, a lot of people, that's on a lot of people's radars. I don't know why Apple wouldn't take a step to try something like that. It sounded like a decent idea to me. But then again, Apple's a big giant corporate entity that doesn't really always do smart stuff, you know.
Something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yep.
Last thing, one of our great chameleon community sent us this. I don't know if you saw this. Brent Coot is on course for the biggest weekly gain in 18 months.
Yes.
I that's probably was directed at me because I've been talking about a bottom coming in oil. And if
you've been talking, I'm telling you, man, you've been talking about that for like what, like 2 months? Man.
Yeah, all the way from probably here. you know, it's catching a fallen knife is a hard thing, but I looked. SLB is one of the ones I like. Just a big sucker of it out of the ground, and explorer, and they're in so many different facets of the space. But again, you look at something like SLB and look at the dividend. I mean, on top of owning the stock, you can get a nice return, you know, selling the call. So, you know, between the two, it's probably 12 to 15% a year you can collect if the stock, you know, isn't called away from you.
Yeah,
you know, Schlumberger in general is down almost 50%. I searched the XLE, which is the big ETF in the sector, and just then I went to the holdings just to see the full makeup of it. I mean, you look on Exxon Mobil, if you just want to recreate 30%, 40% of the XLE, all you have to do is buy XOM and Chevron. They're the biggest pieces. And you look at, you know, both of them are in bear market territory. You put those into the buy right search.
So for anybody following along, Will's on the ATM buy right web page on MarketChameleon.com, and you can scroll through the symbols there.
Yep, you get that by going to options and then buy right search down at the bottom.
Got it.
So and you can just see the returns go. You know, you pick the furthest month out, it's a 12% return and 13% return. So
interesting. Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff to look at to try to you know, give you some extra income while you're holding that stock and waiting for a return. You know, your only risk is the stock moves 12% and you get called away. So take an eye on that, keep an eye on that stuff, do your research, and you know, there's plenty of stuff to review on the Chameleon. Plenty of stuff. Man.
Awesome stuff today. Everybody, thanks for sticking with me. My bad back. Hopefully I'll be up and vertical tomorrow.
Is your son holding you up from below?
He's literally show me your back.
That's terrible news, dude.
They just went out to just go grab my pain meds and stuff. So I've been stretching for like 3 hours. That's what's going on this morning. It's a stretch morning.
In a hot shower?
I think I got a tub, man. I'm gonna hit the tub after this.
Wait, no. Don't do that. There's a risk of drowning there. Your whole body seizes up. All of a sudden, you're underwater.
That would be awesome. Anyway, remember, everybody, click down below, MarketChameleon.com. You can visit us, get all the stuff we're using here. Try it out free for 7 days. And what day is it right there in the States today? I have no idea what day.
It's last trading day of the week. Is
it Friday?
It is. Have a great day trading, chameleons. Enjoy the weekend.
I will be in Paris during the next show. So vive la France. We'll see you next week, everyone. Take care.